as a fiddle. So, yeah, I'll just be kind of working through this for right now. I've got a bin of Legos next to me that I'll be sorting through primarily. But yeah, otherwise I'll try and talk towards the microphone. You know, as gamers do. But yeah, I think we're just gonna be chill. I reached out to Spencer, but he never got back to me. So I think we're just flying solo tonight. That is just so I've got all these pieces and I'm kind of holding them and going through. There you are. That's it. So for anyone curious about my methods, kick the gain up a bit. I think that's about as quiet as I can make the music without muting it. Thanks for the heads up. Let's check this real quick. Okay, is that better on audio? I guess I can check my side too. Should probably mute my phone, huh? Okay, everything's looking better on my end. Okay. Yeah, thanks again. I'm also gonna be... Yeah, obviously if I talk this direction towards the Lego bin, it gets quieter as opposed to when I'm facing the microphone. So maybe let's move the Lego bin in front of the microphone. And then we'll have... What was the word for it? You said there was a specific word for, like, sifting like this. I don't remember what it is, but I know it's a very, very relaxing feeling. Like, even just hearing that. Half the fun for me when I end up going to the Lego store is even if I don't end up finding the pieces that I'm looking for, just even like listening to other people or experiencing sifting through bins myself, it's a good time. It's always a good time. And how is everyone tonight? Thanks for tuning in. Okay, back this way. It's that guy. Just confirming. Hope everyone's well. Grushtilik? Grushtiling? I'll have to look up pronunciation later, but yes, thank you. I learned that word from you. I distinctly remember that. That guy. Got those all sorted. I know it doesn't mean anything to say a few of these where I don't have any sort of build camera, no one can see what these are. Oh, only two. Cool. Well, we got those. Yeah, before I revamped stuff, I was at the point with this build even where we're getting into the lovely territory where I'm going to have to start ordering bricks. Because while I have a lot of lovely bricks, this one requires some of the rarer ones that aren't as easy to find, at least not in the bulk stores that I usually peruse. And that's nothing against the lovely stores that I go to. They have wonderful staff and lovely stock. Just sometimes not what I'm looking for. That's okay. So my tactic, as obviously indicated, is to kind of pull everything apart, separated relatively by the colors, and then as I find the pieces I'm looking for, delete them, throw them into the pile, and continue about my day. You. Oh, and you right on top of it. Nice. But yeah, I just need to filter through, find the stuff that I need, and then otherwise figured we'd just be chatting. Nice and casual. I say to myself over and over again. Come on. Okay. Got you. Got you. Save while we're at it. I'll try not to be too quiet and boring, but I'm also the sort of individual where I really only speak when I have something to say. And as far as tonight, I guess I have something to say. It's that August is normally a very difficult month for me for a myriad of reasons. Yeah, casually to myself. That's how this goes. But yeah, for a myriad of different reasons, it's kind of a tricky month. And I don't know, this year I've just tried approaching it all with a different mindset, and I feel, sorry, I'm talking to the mic. I feel like I'm in a better place, but I don't know. I recognize that things are a lot different this year, especially. Not just for me, but for everybody. You know, this 2020 was not, for multitude of reasons, not an easy year for anybody. But I pulled through somehow. I still am not 100% sure how. All things considered. From NPR, National Public Radio. Think I need that brick anymore? We'll set it to the side just in case. I am known for being like, I don't need that, and then I look and I very much need that. 4x6, you say? Don't call that good. Nope, you're the 2x8. Hello there, Michaela. Welcome. Dobro pожаловать, as they say in the land of the bear. see what you did there. Well played. Plate 1x6. What do you mean I don't need? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I don't need that piece. One in DBG, dark bluish gray. Part of me never really understood why they strayed away from just the regular dark gray and light gray. I thought they were fine looking colors, but I guess Lego thought differently. What do I know? I'm just a bear. That one. Now these tile 1x3s, especially dark bluish gray, I thought were going to be way harder to find than they actually were. But I haven't checked in a while, but I think I have an overabundance of those. Like I said, I haven't checked in a while. Got these two. Call those good. And how are you this evening, Michaela? Hopefully well. No, well, I guess since I haven't already searched, we'll just toss that. 1x4, 1x4, second. Okay, got quite a few of these 2x2s. This is absolutely royalty-free jazz. I normally play the Ace Combat music when I'm streaming Lego stuff, but I figured that tonight that might not fit the mood, given that we're just casual. All these 2x2s, pop those. But yeah, I just kind of found some of the top-rated playlists, and I am aware it's not great, but it's better than nothing. So we'll call it good enough for government work. We'll hold off until later. I don't know. Unless it's exactly that kid. ACL? Pardon my slowness, but I'm not bringing to mind exactly what that is at the moment. ACL. No. Glad to hear it. Just a couple bricks. 1x4. Hey. Delete it. Got a 1x2. Austin City Limits, got it. That would have escaped me without the aid. I appreciate the assistance. I like to consider myself worldly, but I've never actually been to Austin. I'm looking to visit one of these days. Play nice, you two. Is it that guy? It is that guy. We'll delete that guy. How about that? Save early and save often. Lord knows I've been bitten by the likes of stuff disconnecting. So I had a thought earlier today that I thought I would pose to you two. What is the plural of Lexus, like the car? So I was thinking about it, and Lexuses doesn't sound right, but neither does Lexi. And I'm just sitting here like, which one is it? I recognize it ultimately doesn't change or affect anything, but just, I want to know. I want that forbidden knowledge. Those two squared away. Oh, there are more of those? Oh, well, that's not fun. I mean, it is, but it's not the prize I wanted. Lexuses, you think? Yeah, I invited Crispy, but he never got back to me, so we're just chilling. We're chilling solo tonight, which I'm fine with. Okay. I'm not seeing one there, but I have one of my green ones. Lexapods. I can get behind Lexapods. Lexuses. See, and that's the other trick. I don't often find myself referring to multitudes of the Lexus vehicle. So, that hence part of my curiosity. And I think what spurred it, I was driving up to northern Utah today, and a couple of them passed me, and that's sort of what spurred it on my end. Let's see. A few of these 2x4s we can knock out. That's fine. Light bluish gray, bluish gray. 3 light bluish grays. Call it good. Okay, is it like Arizona ungodly heat? Because I caught fire when I went to Arizona. That was not a good time. Like, give me a Fahrenheit and I'll convert it over. Lexapade. It sounds like a cover band for Paramore. Sorry. There's white. No, no. Come on. There we go. All right. So there's origin. Sick. I love when the program doesn't do the thing I want it to do. More often than not, I have no one to blame but myself. Apparently at some point I'm supposed to get sent to Houston for some training. But they told me that like two years ago now. So, I don't know how overdue for said training I am, but apparently it wasn't that important. They never sent me, so. Or, knowing my luck, there's a crucial part of my job that I'm just utterly missing. Knowing my luck, it's probably that. 90% humidity. I can do humidity. Utah doesn't have a whole lot of it, obviously, but I like it when things are wet. Take that in whatever context you feel. Yeah, because like I've been to Rhode Island and the northern corridor, as it were, and it gets pretty humid up there. I don't know about 90% humidity, but I liked it up there. felt good. Houston is a sauna built on a concrete slab. Sick. Yeah, I think if they end up making me go, I'm just not... I don't think I'm gonna bring my, might not bring my plate carrier. And hopefully by then they've given me something other than the fucking winter jacket they require me to wear. If you're wondering if it's kosher that I wear that, some days it's very much not. The jacket is fine, or the plate carrier is fine. It's like 22 kilograms, but honestly, for the years that I wore it, it really wasn't that bad. It's just it's the fucking jacket that kills me. And then I love this little piece, just this little thing, and I'm holding it right now. It's just like, it's perfect, especially for an aircraft that I display that's sitting perfectly, you know, centered on the ground. And your horizon indicator is letting you know, hey, you're drifting real hard to starboard. Just a heads up. Okay, we got you and you. It's different? Okay. Channel rating just changed. Oh! No, dude, like, I said it outright for the people that want to get mad at me. My content is not for children. Like, I'm sorry. I know I deal with Lego stuff, but I don't know. And I'm not going to be hostile towards kids, obviously. But if someone, you know, sends me a strongly worded email telling me that a curse word that I strung together, you know, that their child picked up and is now using in the schoolyard, it's like, honey, and or dude, honey, that's not my problem. Like, I'm sorry, but I very openly state on pretty much everything I make that my content isn't intended for younger audiences. While we're over here and I set as origin because I'm still getting used to that function, we'll delete you, and where's the other kid I found? Is it you? It is. Cool. So these are gonna be the bane of my existence because I need 4 of them, 2 for each side. And from my understanding, they're now only available in this light bluish gray thanks to the X-Wing. So I have to cannibalize an X-Wing if I want to get these. And the thought of that does make me a little sad, I'm not going to lie. Because I understand if I buy one, it's not like I'm ripping it out of the hands of a child. You know, I'm a consumer in the ever-driving, ever-hostile machine that is, you know, capitalism. But I don't know, I feel like I should almost order them off of Bricklink for someone else that's already cannibalized it. I don't know. Dude Honey is my Soundgarden tribute band. It's like a step shy of Man Milk. And yes, that is the last I'm going to say of that. Another one of those corner pieces. OBKB. There we go. It's like, are there even more? But there are. So the stuff that I highlight in this green... Oh, sorry, I'll go back to it. Fuck, where'd it go? There we go. These kids. So I'll pull up the webpage. That is not where I wanted you to go. Yeah, this kid. So, I need it in light bluish gray. Okay, it's not as badly priced as I thought it would be. What's in the US though? Okay. That's not terrible. Because I don't mind ordering stuff from overseas, I just know I'm going to be waiting for it for months. That's what I had to do for my last build. But either way, back to the grind. Pull up chat again. There we go. Also, Michaela, I was unaware that you had lived in Rhode Island. How was that? I had a good time, like 80% of the time that I was there. It was also kind of an interesting point in my life to look back on. I'm also realizing that was also in August when I was there. Huh. Alright then. Sorry, I for anyone that missed it, I started this whole thing off by saying that August is normally a difficult month for me to get through. Usually just with a lot on my mind or a lot on my plate. And this year, I feel like I've been handling it pretty well. At least compared to how I normally handle it. This bear can get a little emotional sometimes. And by a little, I mean a lot. Come on. Is this happy birthday? Alright then. I mean, I guess I picked the soundtrack, so I've made my bed, now I'll lay in it. Aha. 2x6. Delete. Is it one of those? It is. Deleted. Okay. One of these with the knuckle. Howdy, GM. Welcome. Welcome. We're just chilling here. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one, Ben. We'll catch you next time. Enjoy your stream. It's not okay? Or Michaela? No, I'm in Utah. So I'm not that far, but I'm not up in Canada. I think having the job I have and carrying what I carry for work would be just a smidge more difficult if I lived up in Canada. And you're not dumb. I don't exactly where I'm from, you know, everywhere that I am. I'll tell you that I live in Salt Lake City, and that it is, for the most part, dog shit. if I'm being brutishly honest. And yeah, it's not that bad out here. If it were really that bad, there's elsewhere I could go. But yeah, I don't know. I'm up here surviving. 14 instructions. Oh, thank you, man. I had a lot of fun putting those together. Yeah, and I feel like I've been getting better and faster at doing those instructions. But thank you, man. It means a lot. Because normally I kind of just hear secondhand through Darth that people tell him the instructions are good. And it's not that I don't believe him, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that, man. It means a lot. Also, McKaylee. I'm so fucking sorry. Michaela, you goddamn right. Yeah, SLC's funky. It's a hotbed of a lot of different cultures. Like for the book, or the book that's currently on hold, but that I was working on for a bit. I wanted to introduce an Islamic character. And there is like a Islamic information center and a whole community out here that's well outside of what the Mormon populace itself is. Because I know, what was it? I know a lot of people just sort of know it for the Mormonism. And fun fact, I was a member of the church until I was 14? No, I think it would have been 16 before I officially left. That was a trip. Went to art school for a second in Rhode Island. Wasted a bunch of monies. Not in Rhode Island, but I feel that. Yeah, hence me referencing that more interesting part of my life. While I was in Rhode Island, I was there visiting my mom's, at the time, husband's parents, because they live in Rhode Island. And yeah, while I was there, the recruiter that I'd been talking to for me to join the Marines called, and basically over the phone we finalized all the paperwork and everything. So as soon as I was gonna get home, I was gonna get started with like MEPS and the whole enlisting process. Jeez, we're already here. And that led into the relationship I was in at the time. A very sweet girl who I don't talk to anymore. I hope she's doing well. I really do. But anyway, I got engaged to her, even though I was about to go fucking join the Marines, like the goddamn idiot that I was. And all of this in hindsight was very much like, oh, why would you fucking take all of this on? You're a fool and you shouldn't be surprised that things didn't go well. And I'm like, well, that's true. I, at the time, thought that everything was fine. At least as fine as any one thing could be. But yeah, I was engaged at the time. I was trying to get my first book up and out, the one I'd written in high school. Also, I went to the fun Buffalo Island and just saw Missionaries at DQ. Nice! I don't know if it'll work for you, but one thing that I have found horrendously entertaining, because I'll get missionaries that'll stop me, and it's fine. I stepped away from the church, but I'm not overtly hostile to them. That being said, telling them that you're lapsed Mormon is the funniest shit, because they will just stop talking to you. Like, there's no, okay, have a good day, goodbye. They're just like, done. They're gone. It's so fucking funny. Okay, got a few pieces here I can sort out. Yeah, but they, they got me out there, started me in the enrollment process, and I at the time I was excited to go, even though I was committing to a marriage, and I think my idea was to like get married and sort of secure it before I went hypothetically overseas. And I was taking a writing course at the time, trying to get that first book out, which was the run that I wrote in high school, which, small, quiet plug, there's a video on my channel of me and a dear friend, whom I also, unfortunately, don't really talk to anymore, where we fucking... We read through that book that I wrote in high school, and oh god, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like not like that. There's funny bad, but it was bad. Bad time. What was I saying? Right. So yeah, as the months kind of went on, and I was getting ready to be deployed, my recruiter just kept losing my fucking MOS paperwork. So I had to fill that out, I think, 6 times before I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I think the reason that I'm joining the military is the wrong one. And, you know, you guys have been pretty fucking callous to me the whole time. And they're like, well, we can tone it back. I'm like, no. Like, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm gonna find another way to serve my country. And then I went to go work for a caterer for the following 4.5 years. And that ended up being its own level of dog shit. But yeah, I got so focused on all of the shit that was going on and around me and all the things that were going wrong that I just stopped. I stopped paying attention to my fiance. I stopped taking her side in arguments or really seeing kind of where she was coming from. And ultimately, I gave up on her. But I wasn't strong enough at the time to recognize that the relationship itself needed to be called off. So she ended up calling it off. I was cool with it at first, and then I was super not cool with it afterwards. I became kind of a festering asshole about the whole thing for about a year. And I'm really not proud of that. But ultimately, I think me recognizing that behavior was shitty indicates at least some growth, I hope. I like to think that I don't foster grudges or negative thoughts or emotion to quite that degree anymore. But yeah, that whole thing was kind of a huge wake-up call that took me a couple years to fully process. In fact, I only really kind of recently finished processing it. And finished is such a reductive term when it comes to that, because as with any trauma and as with anything you go through, you never really fully get over it. You know, or at least my approach is to learn as much as I can while not dissecting it to the point of obsession. Yeah, and I used to be a piece of work, man. You know, and I know everyone has a history, and I'm not trying to compare mountains to molehills. I understand what other people have gone through may full well, you know, take the cake, as it were, as to anything that I might have gone through. But more than anything, I think I just want to recognize that I used to be a bag of dicks, and now I like to think that I'm not. There are some customers that just bring it out of me, and I'm sorry to them in advance. But you know, one customer that I had, because in the field I work, we actually have two tiers of customers, so to speak. There are the people that either work for the bank or the financial institution that I'm doing the work for, and then the customers of that aforementioned bank or financial institution that I work for. And in this case, it was just one of the two light bluish gray. There we go. In this case, it was just two, or it was one of the guys working for the bank. How did I not see this? I'm getting tired. I'm getting distracted. Jeez. And he said something to me along the lines of, you know, I'm assured that you're normally a very nice person. And I remember looking at him and asking, have we noticed the inconsistency? That guy was being a bag of dicks. Hey, Spencer. I'm in the Discord, although I'm seeing that you messaged. Let me eat. Cool. Yeah, I'll be here, man. How's my audio, everyone? Because I'm getting nervous about that now. I turned the music as low as I could, and I've turned the Blue Yeti up as high as it'll go, and I fear if I mess with the gain any further, I'm gonna mess it up, and I don't really want to do that unless I have to. But anyway, enough history talk. This is supposed to be me taking this month well, and I feel I should keep doing that. And if I dwell on the past, I don't think I'll be doing that. I'm also trying to be better about talking at the microphone. You. Two more of you. Haha. Audio's good now? Well, because the problem is, here's me talking at the microphone, and then here's me talking into the bowl of Lego that's sitting in front of me. And obviously I know me talking down is going to be lower audio. Yeah, I think I'll just try to talk up. Cuz I'm looking at my OBS, and I'll pull it over for everyone. Blue Yeti is as high as it can possibly go, whereas I've got my desktop audio down, and I don't really want to mess with it too much farther. Also, howdy, Jared. Thanks for stopping by, you handsome rogue, you. No, come on. There's origin. Okay, got that one. We got a plate 1x3. Exact same whether I'm talking down or... Okay. So what I'm actually doing, I'm sorting bricks for a very particular build. Had anyone watched the 20-some-odd part series that I put out, and if no one did, it's fine. I think a lot of those videos just have one view, and I'm pretty sure it's mine. Also, Michaela, if you've listened to any of my other videos, Jared is Fusin, so he's a good friend and features quite regularly. But new friends all around. Yeah, and I guess to give a clearer picture of what the intended product is, although I am tempted to just kind of leave it as a surprise until it's fully built. You know what? Nah, no one's gonna watch this back. Open. Through. Where you at? Where are you at? There you are. So here is the intended finished product. Basically all I did was just separated it into all of its individual pieces, pulled it apart so that I could start sorting them and seeing what it is I still need to go out and buy. And I have a bin of Legos here that I already set aside. But I've made some changes to this model, so now I need to go back through and get the new pieces. So that is the intended build. Delete. You know, this royalty-free jazz is kind of growing on me. I'm sorry if it's still bothering everyone else. Not to imply that it was bothering anyone, just I don't really feel like changing it. Two by four. Sick. Ugh, good times. Yeah, I knew I wanted to stream tonight, but I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to do some video games or, you know, I was kind of debating all of this yesterday. Like, I know I want to stream, but what is it that I want to do? And when I woke up this morning, and may or may not have had a mental breakdown before I went to work, ultimately I was like, you know what? Let's just chat. Let's hang out. Let's be casual. Let's just chat. Also, Jared, the only solace in my audio problems my only solace in the audio problems I'm having is knowing how much it's pissing you off. I think that's the only solace I can really take away from consistent audio issues. Nope, it's the other one. Aha. Fun fact, 4.5 years of catering, I've never once been in an elevator that played music. And I'm told that they do that in places like New York, where the elevator rides are longer. But I also barely remember my trip to New York, so I think I was also like 7, and I don't think we really went in that many elevators. And the aforementioned, I remember pretty much fuck all. Yay, streams chat time. Yeah, and I think it's a lot of just that, like, a lot of shit happened to me in August through my years. Some of it within my control, a lot of it not. And ultimately, I think I'm taking it better this year just because I don't know, I feel like I'm in a better place. I feel like I've put in the work to sort of make sure that I'm in a better place. Also, I have a handsome man wandering around. Handsome. Licorice. Oh, well. But yeah, I think it's also a recognition that I'm, you know, I'm not dictated by the things around me. I'm not strictly, my success is not a measurement of my stuff or, you know, who is around me. I think my happiness these days is just dictated by the quality of my life, and I will repeat it for as long as I feel it, but I feel like I'm in a good spot. And I'm gonna celebrate that. Even if it's just a small victory. It's a victory to me. Big malls, hotels, department stores are kind of the last bastion of elevator music. I'm also told if you can squeeze yourself into the back rooms, that there's supposedly elevator music in there. But should I ever find it, I would tell you if I could ever make my way out. But therein be the trick of the back rooms. Well, I appreciate the support, Michaela. I'm acutely aware that I'm not alone, and that in and of itself makes it easier. Adair's playing Happy Birthday again. 1x3. I guess I don't need 1 in tan. Alright. Fine. Delete you. Ooh, big bitch. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 6 by 16. Bam. One by 3, sick. That taken care of. Obtusely aware. I like that. Okay. Got you. I was just looking at a piece I thought I saw, but I guess not. Two of you. Delete. These ones on my last build ended up being the most expensive. I think I paid for 14 of them. I paid like $50, I think, including shipping and everything. Would you rather have no eyebrows or only one nipple? Permanent no eyebrows? Because I could rock it with one nipple. I don't really use them for anything, they're just kind of there. Small, possibly fun fact. You'd be ashamed. I am, I assure you. I shall get to flogging myself immediately. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with only one nipple. It would be, if nothing else, a story. Just like come home with a guy and he's like, let's get that shirt off. And then he gets the shirt off and he's looking, it's like, bro guy, dude honey, you only got one nipple. And I'm like, I know, I lost it in a fight with a badger. And he'll be like, damn. And then that'll be the end of the night, because despite writing erotica, I cannot think of anywhere else that night would go. You'd only go with one nipple? Ah, Jared, you freak. Anyway, interesting, possibly not at all fun fact. My dad has Rottweiler eyebrows, and I think I was like 15 when a friend of mine pointed it out, but he straight up, like, his eyebrows sort of start, like, right above his eyes. Kind of, you know, like, the normal gap is there where it should be, but then they really just don't go that far. They're dots. And a friend of mine pointed that out, and I'll never be the same. By which, of course, I mean it really doesn't affect me that much in the long run, but it just was something I'd never noticed. No, don't do that. There we go. You can draw one on, unlike eyebrows. You can draw on eyebrows unless you want to launch into another, what was it, fucking cheetah sweatpant wearing rant where I just kind of quietly stare at you. For anyone not familiar with that reference, that was a funny fucking point in my life. And, Jared, I will need your permission to recount that story. No, come on. Oh, God. You know, the more I sift through this, the more I'm like, I'm getting there! And then I look and see that I have 1,000 parts left. I'm like, right. The part where I'm not getting anywhere. Don't need you. Don't need you. The other part is that I have to sift out all the blocks that I no longer need. I may share. Oh, you're too kind. So Jared and I used to work together, repairing ATMs and stuff. And feel free to bump in at any point. Tiny little blonde hyphens. Hell yeah! Rottweiler eyebrow gang. Anyway, but we're driving along, and I don't remember what got us onto the conversation, but it was something to the effect of oh God, what was it? It's gonna bug me now. Anyway, we're chatting, and suddenly Jared's like, you know what, I saw this, like, woman in, you know, a set of, like, leopard print sweatpants, and, you know, she's driving the Escalade that, you know, belongs to her husband, who's all this, and he starts just going off on this whole, like, long-winded tangent. And as he's driving, I'm just slowly turning towards him with a "what the fuck are you on about" expression. And finally he comes to a halt and sums it all up with, and then I stopped and went, wait a minute, I'm the asshole. And I don't remember how long we laughed for, Jared, but, like, we fucking lost it. And yeah, it just ended up being this whole, like, going off on just this unwarranted, lengthy, you know, sort of racially charged thing, only to have the conclusion of, like, Wait a minute, I'm the dick. One by 4. His feelings about a leopard pants lady, maybe. I don't know. Their feelings, all right. I can confirm that much. See, of course, I've got. I look back at my phone. I've got 7 messages. Like, guys, why is it only when I'm streaming? I guess it's because I'm not looking at my phone as often as I would be normally. Let's catch up on all these. Sorry to take a break. Like I said, we're keeping it casual. Also, Jared, I see your message now. I appreciate you wanting to tell me in privacy, but you're more than welcome to call me out on my bullshit. What's another thought I had today? Oh, here's a question for the chat. Which video game NPC do you think has the most player kills? Like, enemy or even just like a traitor or something? Which NPC, rather, do you think has killed the most players? I put forth my argument of the very first Goomba in Super Mario. And my logic for that being that it would have been so many different people's introduction into the very concept of video games. So many people just left on that first screen wondering, wait, what the hell is this? What do I do? As this Goomba just slowly waltzes towards them. Jared, I appreciate that you're trying to be endearing. Michaela, do you want to describe what snot bricks are, or snot building is? Because I'm admittedly not as well versed, although from my understanding it's using bricks like these to build and to make stuff. Also, I'm not deleting that to make a statement. I genuinely found that piece that I was looking for. Hey, the cockpit. Nice. Mark that off. There it is. Beep. It happens, Jared. We're all chill here. Hey, the engines. Cool. Those sorted. Okay. Delete you. Stud's not on top. Sick. And thank you for sharing. Hell yeah. I am in full support. That's amazing. And I like it myself. I've seen some quality snot builds, but as my recent introduction back into the Lego community, I've been learning some of the acronyms that I did not know before. Which, as it happens, were many of them. Is that the piece I need? It is. Okay. Deleted. Delete. Found one of these. Oh, I'm fucking silly. Okay. And yep. Come on. There we go. Aha. Okay. That does that and brings us down to 999 parts. Sweet. We are getting there. Still have a nice bin full of Lego. Here. 16, 2 by 14. Genuine plates. Sweet. Sweet. Filter all this out of there. Oh, that's right, because I had to super glue these like a fucking villain. Right. I feel so bad about that. So I'll go back to it. The engines over here, they're really well designed and they do what they should know. There we go. They do what they're supposed to do, like flaring and doing the whole motion. But unfortunately, these connections, here, I'll copy it, pull it out. So these connections are super loose, and these will just kind of rattle around. So I ended up having to super glue them, and I feel real bad about that because I didn't want to do that, but I kind of had to because otherwise it was falling apart. So I understand that makes me Lego villain. But it had to be done. Actually, I guess we can just beep. There we go. That should do it. Tiles, but I have not seen any 1x1s. Shit. Okay. Alright. Life goes on. Wait, 2x2 corner. Why are we on caps lock? Come on, do the thing. Clutch. I know, I really didn't want to. Believe me. I tried to keep them solid and steady as long as I could, but even with it just being a display model, like moving it around or trying to handle it just absolutely decimated the build, like the engines multiple times. And then of course trying to repair it, you know, would just send it over, and it was, yeah, I super glued them out of necessity, not out of want. I assure you it was far, far from my desire to do so. Got you. And we got 3x3. Trace by trace. ¿Dónde está? Está bueno. Don't need all these anymore. Set those aside. No, so it's no longer precarious because it's glued. The only way I can describe it is now or before I glued it, the pieces would just kind of drift and disconnect. So the little, like, here, I'll go back over here. So these, select them, would just like disconnect, or they'd like slide around. So yeah, these would just kind of fall off. Of course, it's not doing the thing. Those would just kind of fall off, and then these would just kind of rotate and shim about, and it just wasn't the kind of negativity I needed in my life, man. I am so sorry, everybody. Expardon me. Yeah, otherwise, what it's supposed to do, because if you look at it on the actual aircraft itself, let's go down here. Images. Da-ba-da. There we go. So, on the actual aircraft itself, howdy howdy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool bean Renos.
I was just explaining why the nozzles on the Lego version of this aircraft were being a bitch. But basically, they can just sort of rotate like this to push the aircraft in a certain direction as it's turning. It's called thrust vectoring, and it's very cool. And the Lego version, the way Darth designed it, he actually made it so the thrust vectoring works. At least on the display model, but because of how unruly those parts were, I had to super glue them, and it was very sad. Pull chat back up.
Okay.
Scholar and a gentleman. It pays to be knowledgeable occasionally.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm
gonna have to have a ghetto setup to watch your stream and be in Discord. I was like, I'll just do it all from my phone. and it's like you're gonna get double audio.
Oh, dude, we're just chilling. You don't have to watch.
Okay, if you say I don't have to watch, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, no, we're just chilling.
Okay. Oh shit, I forgot something, didn't I?
Leave stream, never talks to me again.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm dipping. Peace.
See ya.
I'm just kidding.
Darth Gohira? Oh no, so it's the Italian guy I work with, Darth Designer. Unless you're making a reference, which is, in all likelihood, possibly lost on me, and I'm very sorry. No, I didn't want to add you to a palette. Okay. And delete.
Okay.
How's your night going, man?
Oh, that is a long story. Long story.
Yeah, I saw your text afterwards. I figured if you were gonna get into it, then I'd let you get into it.
Yeah. Basically, so at my job, I've been the only person in my position for like 2 months now,
Hi.
and I'm slowly just drowning in work because I took a week off, so I'm playing catch up with myself, and it has been an utter nightmare.
Understandably. Shit.
Yeah. So that's been fun. So I've been contemplating, do I hold out until I can convince them to hire more people for my position, or do I just jump ship?
Sure, and understandable quandary. Though I think at the end of the day, the ultimate priority comes down to you, because whether you feel like you're leaving the company high and dry or not, is irrelevant in the face of total burnout where you're not useful to anybody, not even yourself. And
Exactly.
you know, so
I've always
self-care,
stood by that mentality.
Self-care is important. Sometimes self-care is eating an entire pack of Oreos, and that's okay.
That's why I got me a 6-pack of my favorite beer,
Nice.
some Taco Bell.
Hell yeah. I apologize in advance to your toilet, but otherwise, hell yeah.
Oh, you'd need to apologize to earlier. My stomach didn't agree with the whole pineapple fruit cup I ate yesterday. I've been praying on the porcelain throne all day.
I am very sorry to hear that.
It was worth it for the pineapple.
And you know, we do it for the vine, if nothing else.
Damn straight. So, did you want to talk about that topic this stream, or did you want to save the topic for the next stream?
You know what?
The one I was talking about, our 2 favorite cursed
Actually,
online personalities.
we could use some content, for starters. Second off, since you're not watching the stream, you can actually be my little guinea pig and look this up, because
Yes, I can.
I don't know, and I can't really say who has.
I don't know if this is a topic I can necessarily Google. Well, let's, because you got a few people in your chat, right?
We've had a couple, yeah. I was honestly expecting no one, so we're doing better than what I was expecting.
So let's pose the question first of who has more content, or who is more documented.
More well documented, sure.
More well, I wouldn't say well documented, because then I feel like one side would just documented.
Okay, it's documented in general. Sure.
Just documented in general.
Okay.
Because I feel like if we take the whole raw of one and the whole raw of another to compare to the other,
Sure. Let's not get hung
it
up
makes
on
for at least a
semantics.
more enticing argument.
Right.
Or debate, I guess.
Yeah. Let's not get hung up on semantics.
Is and to which I pose the question: who is more documented, Onision or Chris Chan?
Before we get into that, as a side point to your point, Michaela, she asks, why do the Halloween Oreos taste better than all the others? With 3 question marks, so you know she's serious. And I pose a prompt that I have tasted ambrosia before. And that ambrosia...
Speaking Greek to me, man. I don't know what ambrosia is.
Well, food of the gods. A food so delicious that if a mortal were to taste it, it would render all other food moot just by sole comparison. And that was in the form of tiramisu Oreos.
Okay.
They fucking discontinued them. I can never have
See,
them again.
This is why I would say that it's okay. Here's the thing.
That's not what I wanted.
My favorite soda was Pitch Black. Right? I'm gonna cross this in. You'll see how. Taking you on a journey, a mental journey with words out of my mouth, mixed with beer and Taco Bell.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but go on.
So my favorite soda was Mountain Dew Pitch Black, right? It had like 2 launches before they officially released it for good, or maybe 3.
Okay.
But the shit was just limited edition. Wasn't super popular. It was kind of popular, I'd say. Around when they really threw it out there, like the first launch, it did meh. The second launch, it did like a little better, and then the third launch, it just blew up.
Sure.
So, I loved it. And ever since they've made it readily accessible, there's a gas station within walking distance of my house that I can go to get more.
Okay.
The fact that it is readily available has not enticed me as much. And this is a neat little mind trick that these companies pull on you, which is much like what Starbucks does with their pumpkin spice lattes for the fall.
Sure.
It's the limitedness and the exclusivity of it.
Well, there's a term
like you're
for
getting
it.
a premium product.
Yeah, there's
that mentally says to you that this is like a rare holy shit kind of thing. And that's why the Halloween Oreos taste so good. Because by the time it comes to having them, you've been having regular Oreos or other flavored Oreos.
Sure.
So the Halloween Oreos are almost like a palate cleanser, like something new. Like if you eat say you love fucking Wonder Bread, right?
Okay.
You love white Wonder Bread. And you're like, all right.
In a hypothetical situation.
Right? But you only have it once a year.
Okay.
For whatever reason. And you eat rye bread the rest. So you're used to that rye bread taste. So Wonder Bread, which to any normal person would just be
meh.
Normal white bread that's meh,
yeah.
would be great to you. Because it's that one treat you get that year time. And it's celebrated with exclusivity. There's a celebration behind it. Oreo, make sure you know, or Frito-Lay, I think Oreo's owned by Frito-Lay.
Probably.
Damn well sure that you know when those Halloween Oreos are back in stock. You get commercials. You get your YouTube ads. It's this great limited time offer. And it's all part of psychology, and it's great, and they do a fucking wonderful job. And if it makes food taste better, I am all on the board of it.
Hell yeah. And that marketing term is FOMO, fear of missing out.
That's it. I was looking for that term. I was hoping my bullshit rambling would lead me into remembering that, but yeah.
You're good. But yeah, that is exactly what you're talking about. And I agree. Back when I used to drink soda before, and now if I drink it, it just fucks me up, as I've discussed. But yeah, like Pitch Black was my favorite, but then like I would really only get it once every so often, and it made it taste better because I wasn't drinking it all the time.
Exactly.
And now I'm sure if I were to drink it, it would probably just kill me, knowing my luck.
You know, it's enough sugar to jack up a 12-year-old kid.
Orange M&Ms are good. I know, like, so to speak, that they don't really do that much different to the coating, the sugary bit, as it were. But I agree. Orange M&Ms are better, objectively, even if it's just in my head, than all of the other ones.
There are orange M&Ms?
But
I'm not fucking around. I'm seriously asking. There are orange M&Ms?
Yeah, dude. They're like part of the core group of M&Ms.
Hey, Dave. What colors do I have problems with?
Oh. Dude, I completely forgot that you were colorblind. I'm so
I
sorry.
was laughing beforehand because I was like, oh, this will be funny. And then it went right over your head, and I'm like, wait, did you seriously just miss out on the one joke that I get to make?
I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm tired, man.
You're fine. Hey, me too. I make a colorblind joke. The one time I make a colorblind joke and it goes right over your head.
I mean, that sounds like me, though, man. I don't know what to tell you. That's a 4.
You know, something that... beer makes alcohol taste 10 times... Beer makes Taco Bell taste 10 times better.
Okay. I was about to raise a serious question there, like, are you talking about what I think you're talking about? But turns out you got it. Okay, now I do need that one. Delete. Oh, let's go back.
So, because I didn't get to sit in the chat for long before I had to run to Taco Bell. It looks like you're building some sort of, from what I could tell, it looked like you're building some sort of plane, right?
Yes, so it's more specifically, it's the Su-37 Terminator, but it's in the yellow 13 livery from Ace Combat 4. As a fun little aside, in my playthrough, like the series I did on Ace Combat, it was the jet I flew for the majority of the campaign.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like even in that same livery, and I don't know how much of that you watched, but I had
all of it.
Okay, sick. Yeah, the whole little subplot of like the jet getting taken away and how I won it like in a bet.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it's just like it's been my favorite aircraft for a long, long time. And what was kind of funny was I had purchased this particular jet from the Dark Designer well before he asked me to start doing instructions for him.
Really?
So, as I was sitting there doing instructions, I don't remember which set it was for, or which of his sets it was for, but I remember just kind of in my spare time while I was working on it, reached out to him and was like, hey, so I know you haven't sent me this set because it wasn't like high on your priorities list, but I've been working on this and just wanted to send it to you since I had it, and sent him the instructions and everything for the Su-37 that I had done in this yellow 13 livery.
Yeah.
And he was like astonished by it. So yeah, I remember that being kind of a quiet little victory for me.
Oh yeah, man. Ugh. Sorry, I am eating in between and muting myself,
dude, we're chill here. I don't mind, like even if you didn't mute yourself, I appreciate it. I'm sure the
are you kidding me? That's the last thing I would want to broadcast is the sounds of my derpy ass eating.
Nom.
No, it's more like nom pop pop because my jaw's all fucked up from braces.
That would do it.
Yeah. So back to our question.
Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to derail us so hard.
No, I had just barely remembered it because I'd forgotten it too. So.
But yes, who do we?
Here's my I want you to kind of represent Christian because you know a lot more than I do. Okay. I'm gonna kind of represent Onision.
Well,
I have an opening statement prepared. So, my opening statement as to why I'm playing devil's advocate mostly here.
Okay.
Because this is an argument I'm going to go into this prefacing, I don't fully believe Onision is more documented than Christian yet.
But you have an argument.
But I have an argument.
Okay. The
Onision has been making videos.
Opening argument.
Yeah. Sweet. Onision has been making videos since like 2005, 2006, right? is 15 years of consistent, or not, I wouldn't say consistent, but like semi-consistent uploads to YouTube, right?
Okay.
To get through all this dude's content would take years.
Okay.
Years. But let me double check. Oh, and he has multiple channels.
Right.
So on his Onision Speaks, he has 324. On Onision, there's 186. And this is currently not including fucking any other ventures he's done to Vine, TikTok, his Tumblr, his Twitter, if he even still uses Twitter. I know he has a Facebook page. I don't know if he still uses it.
Sure.
But yeah, so he's been consistently uploading across multiple platforms for a really long time.
Okay.
Obviously, things get taken down, channels get banned, new ones, side channels, all that stuff.
Things get deleted, sure.
For 15 years, 15, 16 years. Right? His channel, his online personality, if you were to separate it from the person, is old enough to drive.
Sure.
So he's been around for a long time, he's been doing stuff for a long time, and he's hit several different instances of popularity before the ultimate downfall of Onision. Now, that's just Onision himself. Now, let's take a second to include... Oh, there's also his OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. I keep willingly forgetting that's a thing.
Oh, God. There are bits of that I will never be able to purge from my memory.
Oh, God, you actually... Never mind, of course you did.
Yeah, you don't want to ask these questions, man.
Don't.
I may not have paid for it, but I saw it either way.
Gotcha.
Which is just as bad. Now, continuing off of that, we also have channels who have made a good chunk of their audience off of their content about Onision.
Covering Onision.
Not to forget the fact that the only reason that Chris Hansen is in the collective mind of the public is because of Onision. Not to forget that Onision has his own Discovery Channel documentary series. And so I would argue, in the favor of Onision, that between Onision himself and every channel on YouTube or wherever, more people have talked about Onision and the things he's done more in depth, maybe on a legal standpoint more so, than Chris Chan at this point.
Okay. Would you, as part of that opening statement, like to turn around and inform our lovely ace friend in the chat who and what Onision is, just like a brief kind of what they do/did?
Oh boy. Onision initially was a comedy skit channel where Greg, Onion Boy, whatever you prefer to call him, would show up on camera with his current whoever he's dating at that time and do skits. One of his most the first viral video that I really remember of Onision's was the whole "I'm a banana" thing.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Dude, I missed Onision almost entirely.
Really?
I didn't learn about him until one of my former friends sort of sat me down and walked me through their history a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So Onision initially was a comedy kind of skit.
Jared, shut. Sorry, continue.
Oh, what's Jared? No, what's Jared saying? I gotta know.
Jared said, "I don't know what OnlyFans is."
Oh boy, that is not a can of worms we are not going into.
No, he's being.
He's fucking with me. Okay. Yeah. So it was a comedy skit channel that would just do skits, and that kind of split between that and kind of a blog thing, and then he kind of delved into more speaking on public matters, while all this is happening, like, these people are coming out and being like, holy shit, this dude's a manipulative dickbag.
Okay.
Who abuses and tortures whoever he's romantically involved with. If people in the chat are interested in knowing more about him, highly recommend Repsion's channel. Repsion has done a full, in-depth, deep dive of everything and anything Onision. And he's very clear and accurate. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but what about Einabber? Personally, I liked Repsion better. So I'm going to plug Repsion here. But yeah, so it started coming out that he would like make people cut off their family. He ruined some models' career because they got in a relationship and basically said, you can only use the phone when I tell you you can use the phone. You can only use the internet when I tell you you can use the internet. He was the big daddy.
Sure. Also, hi, Jared's
and he liked
wife,
to be treated as daddy.
whom shall remain unnamed for the sake of brevity.
I'm so sorry she had to jump in at this moment. Your stream was probably somewhat normal, and then I jumped in with this bullshit.
Oh, dude, she's fine.
Okay.
we chat on the regular. She's cool.
Okay, cool. Well, hi, Jared's wife. I bet you're a cool person. I'm not in the chat, so I can't see what you're saying, but cool. Yes. Well, yeah, so Greg, he did all that, and he just he harasses other YouTubers and online personalities incessantly. Like, they talk about him, and he throws cease and desists, defamation lawsuits at them left and right. And he never follows through with any of them. Right? My favorite one was when he tried to send one to Chris Hansen. Send it to the wrong Chris Hansen.
Yes, I remember hearing about that. And
showed up to court with an expired knife-protected, or the knife, it was a bulletproof vest, but for knives.
Stab-resistant vest.
Stab-resistant vest. Thank you, Dave. So he showed up with one of those on backwards and expired.
Right, I remember seeing those pictures. As someone that wears body armor every day, hilarious.
That is as much of a nutshell of Onision I can put him in without making this a 20-hour long stream.
Okay. You have Google handy, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Is there a Wikipedia dedicated to Onision?
Let's check.
And if anyone is worried about this individual coming after me with a cease and desist, A, I'm small fry. B, if they take down probably one of the chiller streams I'm gonna have, then I'll edit out the parts where we talk about him and re-upload it. It'll be fine.
Okay, so here are some results. There's the Wikipedia.
Okay.
There's the wiki, the fandom wiki, the Wikitubia.
Cool.
There is Wikidata. There, he has an entire Reddit board. That's all first page. I know. Hold on. Let's. Here's a good idea for the scale. Check out the actual Wikipedia. See how long this is. Oh boy. So you've got your top section of Wikipedia, right? Sure. Which kind of does this overview summary. Okay. First section, early life. Second, online career. Third, controversies. Fourth, in media. Fifth, bibliography. Sixth, discography. And then it goes to references and external links. Now I assume you want me to pull up Christian Chandler Christian Weston Chandler?
Sorry, I had to turn the lights on.
You're good.
But, and if you asked me something, I'm sorry, I might have missed it.
No. I'm gonna pull up. I was gonna say, I assume you want me to pull up the CWC wiki?
So effectively, all I'm gonna ask you as my opening statement is, and I haven't looked at it in a while, so I don't know. Is there something that tells you how many specific articles are available regarding, what's his name? Onion Boy.
Onion Boy? Here. Let's see here. Google has the ability to tell me results.
Both of those. Nice. Okay.
It's not telling me on the mobile version.
Alright, well, I will... Let me pull up Google.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So, like I said, dude, we're chill.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out. Oh, Garlic, hello. Is that a post?
Garlic is so adorable.
Dude, she's my little clove. I love her. All right. See on.
Although I will argue that I think Onion Boy is much funnier than Chris Chan.
Okay, so this answers my question already.
Okay.
Tubia, cool. 3. Okay. 3, as far as I can tell, between a bona fide Wikipedia, a Wikitubia, and a Wiki fandom page.
Yes.
Which, that is... Nope, those Trojans galore. We're the fuck out of there. Okay. Okay. The Quickie. Alright.
Does it give you an exact number?
It actually doesn't.
Fuck.
However, we're here into the new to the Quickie. Check this out. New here, start here. FAQ, Kristen Weston Chandler, list of videos, historical areas, documentary, Chris Chan, a comprehensive history. Those are all individual pages. Now we've got major articles, Sonichu the comic, the character, the species, the love quest, the dimensional merge, trolls, unholy tetrad, relics of the fall, fail, autism, Quickie-isms, timeline, and I just won, Slam Attack. She came for CWC.jpg, which I'm clicking on immediately. Oh no! Oh, it is exactly what I thought it was. Oh god. Cool.
Should have known what you were getting into with that one.
All right. So for everyone in chat, I'm gonna pull this up. It is filling up the page right now, and these are just individual Wikipedia or Quickie pages.
Yes.
So, yes, I am willing to hear you, and will, hear you out on the argument that there is a lot of content about Onision. There's certainly a lot to delve into.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Let's do a second. We'll go to YouTube. Never heard of it. No idea why anyone would come here. Onision. Cool. Filter by over 20 minutes. Okay. So I'm finding some pretty consistent, like, 1-hour videos about Onision, including ones like reading his books. Some of these I've watched.
Oh,
before.
I forgot about. Oh God, no!
Yeah,
Fuck,
no,
I forgot about that. I was trying to repress that for a reason. Oh God, repressed memories. Repressed memories and alcohol, like peanut butter and jelly.
All right. So yeah, some pretty consistent 1 to 2 hour videos. CWC Sonichu on YouTube. Just the Sonichu 101 and 102 series. So I've got the 102 right here, which is 1 hour and 56 minutes, and the Sonichu 101, which is 1 hour and 47 minutes, and a video titled A Short Introduction to Sonichu, which is 5 hours and 20 minutes long.
Yes.
So, yes, I'm willing to hear you that a lot of people know about Onision. But
yeah,
the sheer breadth of information available about Chris Chan, the sheer volume, and yeah, like Michaela says in the chat, the quickie speaks for itself. It does, in my opinion. The quickie speaks for itself. There's a lot.
Oh, definitely. I have one rebuttal.
Cool.
And this is why this rebuttal is at least a good 50% of why I'm playing
the game.
Devil's Advocate here.
All right.
So my rebuttal is, yes, Sonichu stuff is more, I would argue, is more compact and easier to find all in one place.
Okay.
Versus Onision's is spread out. Because Onision shares the same curse that CWC, Chris Chan, does. Neither of them can message anyone on the internet without those DMs getting leaked. Neither of them can.
Sure.
Now, my third point in this, or second point in this, is Chris Chan is in jail. Chris Chan, assumably, will either A, go to prison, or B, end up in a facility.
Yeah.
Or either way, I'm pretty sure this man is not going to be a free human with free internet access after this whole ordeal.
Mayhaps not.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm at fault for trusting our judicial system a little more than I should. But, which kind of delves into another argument. But to keep this kind of short,
Compact, sure.
I would not be surprised if Chris Chan ends up in a monitored facility at the end of this ordeal.
Okay.
And if he's ending up in a monitored facility, there is no more documentation from outside on him.
Okay.
Judging by if he's in a facility, probably isn't going to be able to be in contact with everybody and their mother like he could be when he was a free man.
Sure.
Or woman, sorry.
Either way.
Used to calling Chris, yeah, they, them, whatever, pronouns they choose. Not trying to be offensive here.
No, I get you. Yeah, full disclosure on that one, and I know I launched into this on the Sonichu Medallion stream itself. Whether or not we believe that them coming out as trans was, as some speculate, a continued quest for Poon, whether or not that's the case, it doesn't give TERFs an excuse to be shitty.
Yeah.
And whether or not I agree with Christina's reasonings, and small asterisks on that, I don't know enough to say one way or the other, so I err on the side of caution of, yeah, it's probably genuine. She's just as much a female as any trans woman is.
Yeah. And that's the side I want to kind of lay on. Just trying to catch up on all the Chris Chan things. All those videos are a bit older and dated to their pronouns at that time.
Right.
So just breaking the habit at this point. But anyways, Sonichu, they're most likely going to be put in some sort of facility where they can be monitored. I would assume in hopes that the judicial system does what it needs to.
Right.
Because I think that everyone in chat could probably agree that Sonichu is not a person of sound mind, of logic and reason.
No, and I'm willing to agree there.
But Onion Boy been evading jail. He been evading the law.
Cool.
He has not been touched by the long dick of the law yet. Much to the dismay of many online personalities.
And from my understanding of his behavior and the kind of stuff that he's done, including, from my understanding, grooming, which is not cool. Yeah, should absolutely be in jail, if not at the end of a firing range. And if that is a quote-unquote hot take, then I offer anyone and everyone to take a cool shower.
Well, Onion Boy got his little onion rings that defend him, but I don't think any of the onionlets are gonna be in this chat.
We're hell, a Chris Chan impersonator showed up at the end of the last stream, so sky's the limit at this point.
Looking right. But anyways, a nice cold shower of
just like think about who you're defending and why.
Yeah.
Because I don't even really feel like it's a hot take, but when we were all social distancing for reasons, I remember, I had a joke going around. It's like, I think there's one group of people that should be allowed to congregate, mask restrictions lifted, and it's pedophiles at the end of a firing range.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was, but they just sort of pulled me aside and they're like, that's not a very nice thing to say. And I kind of had to raise an eyebrow, like, take a moment to realize who exactly it is that you're going to bat for. And maybe take a moment to think about why.
Yeah. But to kind of wrap this all up in a nice little bow.
Sure.
I think if you were to compile everything from Onision and compile everything from Chris Chan, kind of as I was saying earlier, they would be close.
Yeah.
If not, they'd be real. I feel like they would be really close in the amount of content that you can absorb from both parties. But I do believe currently Sonichu has a bit of a head up on Onion Boy. But the fact that Sonichu's saga may be coming to a close, Onion Boy's saga is really just getting started. Is still running strong.
Sure.
He's coming up on another reboot, sending out a fresh waves of DMCAs, cease and desist, defamation lawsuits, you name it, whole 9 yards.
Whole 9 yards, yeah. So I hear you. I do. But from my understanding, the opening question was, who has more available content, not who will have. And while I don't normally argue semantics, there is that small distinction of, I do believe that at the moment, Chris Chan has more available, readily accessible, long content that they can follow. And as a second counterpoint, Onision, from my understanding, has denied a lot of allegations, has gone about to, the cease and desists were there for a reason, sure, on some of them. But from my understanding, there was also a lot of them lying and getting caught lying. And while, yes, the lies themselves could certainly contribute to that breadth of information, one of the things that Chris Chan is known for was an act called the information overload.
Overload. Yes. That kind of plays into one of the other things I wanted to argue.
Okay.
Was, yes, Chris Chan did the information overload and dumped everything about himself online.
Yeah.
Onion Boy arguably whether things were false or correct, because there are still people out there who could end up testifying, could proving some of the theories correct, and there are also chances that no, they're not correct. At the end of the day, I don't think everything has been proven as a false. I think it's more just there's not enough evidence to pin it as true yet.
Okay.
And therein, any false reports, any false claims feeds into kind of the lore of Onion Boy.
Okay.
See, here's the thing. I don't feel like we can take, because there is also, I believe there's also some misinformation. If I remember correctly, there was one group that was spreading misinformation about Chris Chan. And so I don't feel like we can take the entirety of Chris Chan without ignoring any false statements if we don't do the same for Onion Boy.
Sure. And
anything we may or may not have been able to necessarily verify with Chris Chan.
Right, and that's more what I'm saying is that, yes, false information was put out, but one of the things that made Chris Chan as infamous as they were was this information overload that they launched in retaliation of the misinformation. To strike back at the trolls by giving them so much information that they wouldn't know what to do with that, without really understanding that the way the internet works, once you post something, like it's
out.
It's out and it's there forever. As anyone who still has a saved copy of that picture that Beyonce's lawyers want everyone to delete. You know the one I'm talking about.
Here's another arguable. Gonna itemize things.
Sure.
Okay. So, I feel like if Onion Boy's haters were more organized, they could put up a wiki that could rival Chris Chan's.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of Onion Boy content throughout the years. We're talking 15, 16 years worth of content.
Sure.
There's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
Other than that, if we compare their own stuff, Onion Boy has definitely put up more videos. The books could arguably take on the comic.
I will grant that the books will count towards Onision content because they are like the videos that Chris Chan made. It's only fair that the books be included. So I will give you those.
Thank you. So yes, he has the books. And what I was currently looking for is YouTube. Obviously, that's minus the stuff that he's removed, minus the stuff that's been taken down.
And I
reported.
understand that from a lot of these allegations and a lot of what's transpired, that Onision has deleted a lot of that content.
Yeah. That and hold on. How many episodes was the Discovery documentary? Onision documentary. I don't know if it was all in one big thing or if it was Onision in real life. There we go.
Also, sorry, I haven't been looking at chat that often. Jared, are you being genuine about not knowing about this? Because I feel like you missed a very important stream if that's the case.
There are 4 episodes. How long are they? Pretty sure if I just add runtime in, it'll...
Licorice? What's up, dude? Hi, handsome.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's on Prime? No fucking way.
Whole series on Prime?
Okay, so the first episode is 54 minutes.
Okay.
Second episode is 50 minutes.
Okay.
Third episode is 50 minutes. Fourth episode is 50 minutes. Oh, or actually it's 57 minutes, and then the last one is a trailer. So that's about just under 4 hours of content right there.
Okay.
Yes, it is segmented into episodes, because it is a documentary.
Sure.
I'm just curious.
Okay, Jared, I feel like we need to work out a system where you write in a certain manner that indicates you're being facetious. And then I'll assume...
Italics.
You can't do italics in a lot of chat. Because I understand that when, like... I know a lot of old IRCs would let you, like, put your chat or your text in italics, but... Yeah, YouTube won't let you do that, and a lot of other modern ones won't. But he informs me that he's been filled in, so it should be good to go.
Okay. So Repsion, the channel that I usually follow, has... Well, that's just Onision responses. Ironically, his most recent video is on Chris Chan.
Oh god.
Repsion is a great YouTuber. Highly recommend him. But
in
his Onision responses, he has 47 videos, all ranging from anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
But Repsion has plenty of content about it.
Dude, it's played this royalty-free jazz happy birthday like 4 times now. So yes, it is very much that.
Wait a minute, is this not actually an Onision channel? No, it is. Okay. Okay, I should not have clicked on that channel. It just makes me so much more confused. Let's see here.
I'm being facetious. There you go. I feel like that's a good system.
Yeah. Anyways, I never was the other one.
Dave, don't use the MGL.
Shut the fuck up. Damn it, I never doesn't have all of his shit in a playlist.
Damn.
Playlist, there we go.
So basically the vibe I'm getting
About
from this...
32. Yeah.
From this argument is that, you know, if collected and streamlined the same way that Chris Chan had been, that I feel a compelling argument has been made that yes, Onion Boy could measure up. However, due to the scattered nature of the people documenting, that hasn't been possible with Onision. Or hasn't
Thus,
been
you've
done.
poked a hole in my entire argument, and I have no idea how to combat it. But my previous rebuttal still, I feel, stands. Of as time goes on,
Okay.
there will eventually be more Onision documentation than Chris Chan.
Sure.
I feel like there will come a time, well, because there was already a huge break of Chris Chan's online appearance and feed into the wiki.
Yeah.
Which was during the era of, you know, him doing the deed with his mom. God knows how long that's gone on.
Well, since June, early June was the...
Oh, so that was able to be confirmed?
Yeah, that was documented as to how long it had been going on. It had really only been going on for a couple of days when the initial story was broken.
Yeah. Okay.
And it really didn't take long for police to get involved, for them to be separated, because surprise, people were worried about Barbara and understandably got law enforcement involved.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Again, understandably, I'm not knocking them. I would have done the same in their shoes.
Oh, of course. Are you kidding me? If you told me you were sleeping with your mom, I'd throw up some serious eyebrows, and I'd probably call the cops on you, Dave. I'm sorry.
I'd throw up some serious eyebrows and call the cops on myself, man. Fucking, where am I at in that stage?
Charles Darwin persists. Did that one go over your head too, or did you get it?
No, I know who Charles Darwin is. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not you meant Oedipus, but.
No. Charles Darwin and Oedipus, they both had an Oedipus complex, let's say that much.
Ew.
I think, what was... Hold on, let me fact check myself real quick, because I may be wrong on that one.
Because with Darwin, I thought it was his cousin.
Was it his cousin?
I believe so. I also haven't looked that heavily into it.
Okay. No, you're right. It was his cousin. Thought he had a thing for his mom for some reason. I was wrong.
I mean, he might have.
Yes.
He might have done. I don't know.
Yeah, everything I'm seeing says cousin, so... Oh well.
Well, you tried.
Close enough. Still family.
Yeah.
Is this appropriate time for a Fast and Furious meme or no?
Oh God.
You think in the in the fictional universe of the Vin Diesel Fast and Furious memes
please,
that he would have been a part of the Sonny Cholos?
Please proceed carefully, and yes, he absolutely would have.
I fucking love that meme so damn much.
It's a quality meme. Like
top
it's up there.
Tier shit post. I feel like that's a meme that Russian Badger would be hung up on for a while.
Probably. Knowing that magnificent boy and his content.
So, how goes the fighter jet?
We have 652 parts left to sort out. So, pardon me, we're
652.
Yeah, I've got a good bowl of parts still left, but it's definitely this bowl was full when I started.
So you have all the parts, you're putting it together?
Negative. So
Negative.
Part of the problem is recently I changed some of the design, and it made it so that some of the pieces I had already set aside were no longer prudent. And would make it so that I would need to do this where I update it, because when I first started the build, I had originally set it out to have 6 side missiles, along with the 2 main end of the wing missiles. However, what occurred to me, or I sort of looked at it and was like, hang on, I can do a giant anime space laser out of Lego, so I designed that, and I'm happy with it, I am, but I recognize that it also means that the work that I did for the parts for those missiles is now irrelevant. And that is sort of the part of the impetus for coming back through and, going through everything, because there are still a lot of parts that I've been hunting for a while and definitely still don't have, but it's enough. Like, it was enough of a change in both those, and I think I changed some of the bricks in the cockpit as well.
Yeah.
That made it so it was just necessary for me to come back through to hunt for those pieces.
Okay.
And get a more updated inventory, basically. I also didn't have to do this tonight. Like, I usually do this sort of thing in my free time.
Yeah.
It was more that I couldn't really think of a video game that would be chill that I would want to play for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm. No, I get you.
Save. So yeah, just wanted to chill, wanted to chat. And I wasn't kidding when I texted you yesterday. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. And it wasn't until I woke up this morning and I was having a conversation, or like I started out a text conversation with someone.
Yeah.
And the topic of hybrid personas came up. And I said, oh, that reminds me that my old persona, like from years back, used to be a hybrid.
Okay.
So I went to pull up a reference image. And the only place I could think to find one was on her gallery. And in looking at her gallery, just a lot of memories started flooding back, and then I remembered her birthday's tomorrow. And earlier this year, I had kind of planned something, but with everything that went down, now we're not talking to each other. And so I just kind of had this quiet moment of like existential dread where I'm like, this feels bad. And
yeah,
that's when I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play with Legos. We're just gonna chat. We're gonna be chill. I'm gonna do the thing I normally do in August, where I just work and not
do
necessarily ignore my problems, but rather just engage with them in a different manner.
Hey, I hear you. Everybody copes, man.
Ha ha ha, Jared.
Oh,
Sorry, I realized in trying to make that laugh sound facetious, it sounded actually biting. I'm not, I promise.
Random change of topic, something that I've been seeing lately that's kind of making me laugh. Okay. So you know who Hayao Miyazaki is, right? Ghibli movies, My Neighbor Totoro. Yeah, he directed all that stuff. So he's known for being an extreme nihilist and kind of just an all-around dick, right? A very, very nihilistic view on the world and very pessimistic.
Sure.
And he's not a very nice guy. Right? So he's kind of, but his art, total polar opposite of what you would expect from him, right?
Sure.
Now, people online have been making a lot of like jokes comparing him side by side to another manga artist by the name of Junji Ito.
Junji Ito, I'm very familiar.
So Junji Ito, he's a renowned horror manga artist, right?
Dude, he has one of my favorite pieces.
Oh yeah, hands down. I have 2 collections of his short stories, and I've read through Uzumaki, and he is my all-time favorite, one of my current favorite living mangaka. Just because everything I've ever read of his has just been thrilling.
Yeah.
Can't put it down. It's great. In real life, have you seen what he looks like?
He just kind of looks like a chipper dude, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like super happy and smiley and chipper all the time.
Yeah.
And yet, just out on page, he draws this fucked up dark shit. And what makes me laugh is that he is literally the yin to Miyazaki's yang.
Sure.
Whereas on the exterior, he's bright, happy, loves cutesy, adorable things.
Sure.
Versus on the inside, Versus on the inside, there's that nugget of darkness that just bleeds out onto pages and torments your mind.
Well, so this is...
And then Miyazaki is like the opposite. It's kind of like this dark, brooding person.
An interesting concept, and I'm sure you've heard the term before. Are you familiar with death of the author?
Somewhat.
Okay, so it's as a basic coverage, and if you're being genuine, Jared, a furry hybrid is basically a mix of two different species. So, for example, I used to be a cat wolf, and that was just a thing I did.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't help but laugh a little bit at that. Dude, you have to forgive me.
Please laugh. Like this.
I have a friend who was outwardly a brony and had a brony persona at work once. Still good friends with a guy. He's kind of dropped it a little bit.
Sure.
But it still makes me laugh.
If it is who I think it is, hilarious. But
I don't think you know this person. It's a different person.
The person
but this person had like a pony, a Captain America kind of thing going on, and it was fucking hilarious.
Premium cringe. Hell yeah.
But the person you're thinking of.
The person I'm thinking of, I don't want to dox them, but their name starts with a B.
Okay. But yes, no. Fuck. Death of the author.
Death of the author, right. So basically, it's that people, people will create something. Create a work of art, a work of fiction, write something, etc. And then once it's out in the world, it doesn't really matter who the author was, what their philosophies were, sort of, it doesn't really matter what they believed or what they wanted a piece of work to communicate. The only thing that matters is what the people who engaged with it took from the art or the piece of work or what have you. Oh, pardon me. But in my experience of writing, have come across a separate side of that, where yes, it doesn't really matter what you as the artist intended. It's all, what the people who engage with your work took from it. But beyond that, you put a piece of yourself into everything you make. And
yeah.
I think we, as humans, we have sort of a way of noticing that or engaging with that we otherwise might not have. We can tell when something, a piece of work is genuine or when it was just mailed in. You could argue, and I haven't played them, but I imagine that the first two Metal Gear games feel a lot more genuine than the later ones.
Yeah, well, because the later ones are okay. So, kind of building on that, in the Phantom Pain, in the prequel to Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes, there's an entire sub quest to one of the missions, completely and entirely missable, where you find a gun. I don't remember. It's an assault rifle. I want to say it's one of the AKs, with a flashlight attachment at the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
Now, this is the only gun with a blue flashlight. When you shine the blue flashlight over Metal Gear games that Kojima himself has done, the logos disappear. It's almost like a foreboding kind of pretense of telling what's going to happen, because this came out before the big news.
Sure.
You would go around the mission and delete all of the Metal Gear games that Kojima himself has made. From Metal Gear all the way up to Peace Walker. All of them gone. By the end of the mission, I can't quite remember verbatim what Kaz says, but it's something along the lines of, you can erase what was once there, but it will always be with those who first interpreted it or saw it.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. Which is basically saying, Kojima's way of saying, you can erase me, but you will never erase my legacy.
Sure.
Versus the first game is a very hopeful. It's a new military special forces guy with the green beret, up and coming, trying to make a name for himself, making a living out on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Being a little green, a little wet behind the ears. And just this growth into, between Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, of this full veteran, badass super soldier.
Yeah.
And in comparison, you can see the hope kind of dwindling in every game. The hope for life and future. So, but yeah, no, definitely that is something I've noticed with artists who write books, artists who write songs, artists who make games, make works of art.
Right, and I guess to stop beating around...
There's always a transition from one end to the other.
Yeah, to stop beating around the bush and I guess get to what I'm trying to say, I believe that where Junji Ito puts horror on the page, he's, so to speak, kind of getting it out of his life.
Yeah.
Or engaging with it in almost a therapeutic way where it's not staying with him. Whereas the creator for the director, the studio
Hayao
Ghibli,
Miyazaki.
Yeah. Whereas Miyazaki is sort of forced to engage with these hyper-positive things, and he puts that on the page, and what's left behind is what sort of fosters that nihilistic mentality. Jared also pops in the chat, I think one gave into Japanese cultural pressure and the other draws cartoons, meaning Miyazaki got serious and Junji Ito draws comics at his pace.
Which is a very valid argument.
Sure.
No, you go.
Oh, all I was going to add to that is just I like the work that both of them create, at least from what I've seen of Studio Ghibli movies that I grew up on, and even dude, rewatching My Neighbor Totoro recently, I fucking felt the same magic that I did when I was a kid. That. Oh yeah. It takes.
What do you think Disney bought up the rights to those fucking films?
Right,
It's the kind of magic they're known for.
Yeah, and I'm such a jaded piece of shit these days that to be able to just disconnect and remember not only where I was when those movies first came into my life, but also just be able to unabashedly return to that sort of simplicity that I hadn't known for years. It meant a lot.
What I would recommend, there's a new director that I would argue is he's up and coming, and he kind of focuses on the similar style that Ghibli films do, but in a more, I would say, story cohesive kind of way.
All right.
I would always say that from a critic's eye, the Ghibli films, some of the times Ghibli films will suffer in kind of the story department and cohesive storytelling from getting our characters from point A and having a conclusive end at point B.
Right.
That is up for much debate and argument, but
and as someone who writes that is a tricky fucking part. So.
Oh, hands down. I'm not knocking him or anything. I'm just saying one thing I've noticed. There's a guy, Mamoru Hosoda, yeah. He's done a few movies. One I think you may particularly enjoy is The Boy and the Beast. I swear by this movie that it is is geared towards a younger set of audience, but it is a movie that I feel is good for all ages. It's not just, it's one of those movies you brand it as an all-age movie and think, oh, it's a kid's movie, but then you watch it and you realize, no, this is literally just an all-ages movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to let you borrow one of my 2 copies. Oh. But it's really good. And I think you would personally enjoy it. To kind of give you a general synopsis, it's about this boy who goes through his parents go through a divorce, so he runs away and escapes into a land of talking animals and learns the way of a sword by a talking bear.
You have my undivided attention.
I figured you would enjoy that. I won't say anything more.
Okay.
Just because the magic of the movie really comes together, and it's very one of those like movies with a message, but you can totally ignore the message. You know, it's obviously like a message meant for kids of like a common message in most Japanese media of escapism.
Yeah.
Do you rely on it, or what is it like? Kind of like, what is escapism and how do you deal with it?
Sure.
Kind of a dealio. Are you running away from your problems, or are you facing them, or have you found your happy middle ground?
Yeah.
Which I feel is an argument that is not being argued enough in today's society.
Sure, and I can see that.
I feel like at a point there is too much escapism. I'm not saying escapism is terrible, but there needs to be a limit.
No, absolutely.
Also, hot take.
Sure.
Achilles would have gotten his shit absolutely wrecked by a razor scooter.
I don't know if that's a hot take, but I hear you. Let's see. The first actual like Junji Ito thing I fully engaged with was his short story about the like dream disease.
Yes.
And that one particularly fucked me up because I guess to put it lightly, I had that happen to a small degree.
A dream that felt like it would last for a lifetime.
So it more specifically, it went on for like 14 some odd years. And then I woke up and I was here. Like I was back in my bed where I had started it all. And
yeah,
it was around the time those like earthquakes were, the sort of microquakes were happening.
Yeah.
And I was working at the time, and I grew this just incredible anxiety around the notion that, because I didn't have garlic by that point, I just had licorice.
Yeah.
I grew this incredible anxiety about what was it? About the earthquake happening.
Being stuck in,
and the apartment building going down, and that by the time I got back that I would have lost, licorice, and yes, all my possessions along with it, but like that little man is my life,
Yeah. There are certain things that take precedence over others. I get it.
Right. And so I had this anxiety for a while, and in the dream, the earthquake happened, and I raced home, and it was all just rubble. There was nothing. Like sifting through it wasn't gonna do it. The more, I guess, logical side of me just looked at it and was like, it's gone. There's nothing left to come home to. And I just packed up a bag and I left. And I drove and drove and drove, and I think I ended up in like Montana or something. And I didn't tell anyone kind of where I'd come from. I ended up just getting a job working on a farm, and I did that for the better part of a decade. All while just kind of processing everything that had happened and everything that had transpired, and suddenly just snapped to and was back in my bed back here, and Licorice was, cute little bastard pawing me awake. And yeah, I grabbed him and I held him and I just cried for longer than I care to admit. But that,
yeah.
When I read, when I ended up later reading that comic, I absolutely sympathized with where that guy was coming from, because just I remembered that shock of waking up.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's almost kind of interesting how dreams can affect us in that sort of a way.
Right.
But I don't know. Usually when I get dreams like that, I take it more as a symbol of I need to appreciate what I have before it's gone.
Sure. Oh, I mean,
and kind of...
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I kind of had a similar thing with one of the other comics he did. It was, I don't know if you read this one, it was about a singer who died in the middle of writing a song, and it got pressed onto a vinyl. And anyone who heard it went mad. Like, this is like the greatest thing ever. I need to keep it or if I hear it, I need to steal it from said person that has the vinyl.
Yeah, I didn't read that one, but go on.
And I had already been well into vinyl collecting, so this story initially kind of stuck out to me, and I wanted to read more of it. But ultimately, what I ended up taking away from it is even as important as I kind of see some of, because I'm a collector of all sorts, as you've well seen. You've seen noticed. My apartment. It is lined with figures, vinyls, video games, electronics, you fucking name it. I have a million and 10 different cables for any fucking thing on the planet. Is to just kind of learn to let go more of material possessions and not care so much.
Sure.
But it's kind of interesting how certain pieces of media can affect someone to a certain degree, or be relatable at a certain specific time, or bring someone to a realization of something, or something along those lines.
Yeah. No, that's the kind of shit I love about media in general, but just the certain engagement that certain authors and certain pieces of the media that we engage with can affect our lives in ways that are so profound, and that's why I'm a huge believer in Death of the Author.
Yeah.
Because whether or not that was the lesson that, Junji intended for you to take away, it doesn't matter, because that's ultimately just what you took away.
Yeah. Ironically, I kind of had something a similar kind of Death of the Artist, with an actual artist themselves.
Okay.
So kind of delving into some deep shit, as if we weren't already. So there's a local band in Utah that's, I would say, pretty popular, Royal Bliss. My dad, huge fan of them.
Sure.
And there was always one song that kind of talked about, the initial lesson was talking about addiction and shit.
Okay.
And I had the pleasure about a few months after meeting, I wouldn't say, the first concert I went to, I had connections to the band themselves at the time, and I got to sit down and talk to them. We just kind of hung out for a few hours and just talked. And it came up at some point because they'd played the song during the show, and I was like, hey, you played this. This is my favorite song. I gave them the whole spiel, the whole kind of mental connection I had made between their song and how I coped with my dad being who he was. Mm-hmm. And they literally said, that's great that you can do that with a song. And he was talking about how that song was literally just an idea of how would you deal with someone you love being addicted to something? And he was saying about how he thought it was interesting that someone could take that idea, put it into their life, and bring it more, flesh it out more, and have it be a relatable piece of media to help them help carry them through a loss of a family member.
Sure.
We kind of just talked about like some of the intentions of songs, what comes across, what people understand, what they take from it, and what they build upon it from there. And he argued that half the point of media, or half of what makes the legacy for media so great, is those people who are able to take those songs, that art, and transform it into something much greater than the artist originally intended.
Totally.
That at the end of the day, half the art is upon the audience and not the artists themselves, because it all depends on what the audience themselves takes away from the art.
Totally.
It was just a neat conversation to have with someone like that.
Hell yeah. I love shit like that, dude. Where the fuck? Where'd that piece go? I guess that's just extra for right now. Sure.
Hey man, don't knock extra pieces. You never know when you need them.
I know. That's why I'm setting it aside.
But yeah.
Hell yeah. On a lighter note, I was recounting this story.
Yeah.
On a stream I was tuned into the other day. You tuned into a stream the other day, but I had a conversation with my dad, where I think this was a couple months ago at least. It was a good long while. And he had discovered the author Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
And he was telling my grandma about this author. He's like, this guy, you know, he builds these engaging worlds. You know, he's just like a gripping storyteller.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's telling her about this author, she's just beaming up a storm, you know, her usual cheeky smile, and she just kind of gingerly like rests her hand on his and is like, do you remember growing up your friend Kevin? And I don't remember if it was Kevin. It was something like one of those just generic names.
Yeah.
And he's like, of course, like I hung out with him all the time. And she's like, you used to tell me about the little boy that would follow you two around and just annoy you. And my dad was like, I think I remember him, like the just little kid, right? She's like, yes. Yeah. That's Brandon. The Brandon Sanderson. Apparently they grew up in the same neighborhood as each other, and would like follow my dad and his older brother around, just talking to them about stories and different like concepts that he'd come up with. And my dad was like, it annoyed the shit out of us, but ultimately I looked at it and I realized and I remembered, you know, you being that sort of same style, and it made me have hope for you as an author. And I was like, aw, hey, wait a minute, like fuck,
wait a minute,
fuck you. Like, sure, I walked around and annoyed people with my stories, but I didn't think it was that annoying.
Yeah.
And yeah, ultimately the approach I take, for anyone still in the chat, I don't want to be like famous. Being successful and you know, be like I hate to use the term, but I cringe at the notion of being a household name. Like I don't want that. that sort of fame is like nerve-wracking to me. That's not what I seek. I'm here to tell stories. I want to reach an audience and write words, as reductive as that sounds, but to write something that someone needs to read. And I don't know who they are. I don't get to decide that for them. But if, someone for lack of a better term, reads the conflict or reads through a point that I make, and they can then look either within themselves or at a conflict that they're a part of and go, maybe this is the resolution I've been looking for, then as far as I'm concerned, I've helped that person. And that
fair enough.
That ultimately is the kind of takeaway that I want, is for even just one individual out there to go, I'm in a dark place, or I'm in a weird place, but I read this thing, and it either gave me the confidence or inspired me to do the thing that I ultimately needed to do. And that is the sort of reason that I write. Or just create in general. Like, I feel the same about my YouTube videos. Like, yeah, they're silly, and I definitely make jokes at my and others' expenses. But ultimately, my end goal is just even one person to look at that and go, this is what I needed.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I mean, so I guess that begs the question of, because there's always a chance, any given moment, you could go to sleep tonight, happy with the content you've put out, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you've got a video with 1 million views.
The first thing that
and all of a sudden
is
there's a couple 100,000 pairs of eyes on you.
Panic is the first thing that comes to mind. But
Panic?
Panic mostly. In fact, panic pretty much entirely. Like, I don't know how content creators like Terminal Montage or others like do it, because I don't envy them. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I deserve the views they're getting. No, they produce some quality fucking content, and they I feel they're getting the attention they absolutely deserve.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing that I've done with the most successful thing I've ever done is just uploading a video of me playing a cover of a metal song on YouTube on an old channel that I no longer have access to.
And hell yeah.
But even I can tell you, as someone who's had at most a couple thousand eyes on me at once, because the video kind of sort of really blew the fuck up.
Uh-huh.
I mean, when you get like 18K views on a video, when you've got like maybe a total of 3 or 4 videos on your channel, it's kind of concerning.
Sure.
But as a teenager, I don't know, I didn't care. What it did was it opened up a lane of like criticism and whatnot, which I don't want to say the channel for fear of like trying to really, if I ever do decide to pursue a music career, I will put it out there.
Yeah.
As of right now,
no.
That's all.
Sure.
Teenagehood, me having fun as a teenager. But no, kind of one thing that kind of interested me was, speaking of like more YouTubers who've blown up, like Corpse Husband or PewDiePie, and their kind of views on being popular, being recognizable, being a household brand. And Corpse Husband, I feel, takes a more direct kind of like open I fucking hate this versus PewDiePie is more of a just like a don't fucking bother me in public please kind of a dude.
Yeah.
Which like to a certain degree I really get it.
Yeah.
But also to another degree at the end of the day you've maintained this career. It kind of comes with the territory, as douchey as that is to say. At a certain point, it's inescapable. But no, Corpse Husband, especially since he's a faceless YouTuber. And most faceless YouTubers are that way, of how they keep themselves faceless to avoid any sort of publicity.
That's what the point of the mask is.
God.
Sorry, I couldn't help it, but continue.
You're fine. But no, yeah. Something that was just kind of interesting. That's why I kind of went through and removed my face from like my Twitter and my YouTube channel. You know, it's just because at the end of the day it was like it's not going to affect me either way at this point. And even if someone did see those old photos of me, they're like a couple, like, at minimum of like 5 years old at this point.
Yeah, they're a little outdated.
So, you give someone 6 years and they can look entirely different.
Yeah.
But no, I just kind of removed it because it was like, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I've got a common enough name. I feel like everybody knows at least one or two Spencers. That even if my name does get dropped, it doesn't matter. I mean, look at you. Your name's fucking Dave. You go by Dave or David or, you know.
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, the most doxing thing about you is that full name is on your book, but that kind of comes with being an author.
Right. And granted, I could have used a pen name, and I wanted to for a while, but ultimately the reason I didn't, just kind of comes down to how I had already spent so many fucking years behind a mask, behind a, you know, and I'm not
theory confirmed.
I'm not
I had a theory that was it. I had a sneaking suspicion. I was like, why didn't he? And I was like, that was honestly probably it.
And you're right on the money, because like I spent too long, man, too fucking long pretending to be someone that I wasn't. And all for what? A couple lost friendships and really nothing else gained. So yeah,
hey, at least you can look at lollipops.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was too perfect.
Yeah. Corn, on the other hand, that one's still off the fucking table. Because that did happen.
Oh god.
Much to my chagrin.
Oh god. Fucking hell. But even so, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I looked at it something like, at a certain point, well, honestly, this is even argue it even further, but at what point does the past still matter enough to outweigh the future?
I think it obviously depends. You know, that comes with the context of, like, is 10 a big number? It's like, well, context, you know?
Yeah.
Number of car crashes? Yes. Number of murders? Yes. Like, you know.
But I'd also say that holding on to the past can prevent you from growing at your true pace.
Totally.
And I've read... I want to get into this because I've been kind of excited about getting into this with somebody for a while. And I finally have found the opportunity to talk about it. I have gotten... The past few years, I've gotten heavily into philosophy.
Okay.
Right? I have everything from fucking Nietzsche to...
What's good, Nietzsche? Sorry.
Yeah. Time and fuck, I can't remember the damn philosopher. I've got some Soren Kierkegaard.
Yes.
Who?
Dude, I love
God.
Soren.
Holy shit. So Nietzsche's good with a side of salt. Like obviously Nietzsche's Nietzsche.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
he makes some very valid points, but the interesting thing about him as a philosopher is how his stance on nihilism changes as he grows.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's the most fascinating part about Nietzsche, because he starts off in Human All Too Human as more of I am a man-made man. I am not my accomplishments and accolades are not those to be thanked of a deity. They are my own things that I've done for myself. There's no point in looking to a deity for inspiration, for work ethic, when that is something I myself must provide. And now that is a nugget of Human All Too Human, but that is the nugget that I choose to pull because Nietzsche is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Versus Kierkegaard, one thing I really loved about Either Or is that he goes so in depth on materialism, what we need, the either or of needing something, either this or this, the I need this or this, the kind of the either or, and finding that happy in between. Fucking Time and Being, Martin something, I cannot remember his last fucking name. Let me Google it real quick.
No worries.
He talks on existentialism. Hold on, Time and Being. Martin Heidegger.
Okay. Existentialism.
Or was it? No, it was John Paul Sartre. Sorry, John Paul Sartre. Sartre. Which book of his do I have? Fuck, I can't remember. Fuck, what was it? Being in Nothingness.
Okay.
His was just kind of talking about how you deal with your life in the greater, grander scheme of things, and it's a great view on existentialism and how to perceive it and why it persists and has persisted through the age of time and will persist. And even Martin Heidegger really kind of touched on a little bit of existentialism as well. But it just, the life lessons you can really pull, even if it's from reading a little bits and picking and choosing nuggets from each bit of philosophy to kind of build your own,
Sure.
can heavily change your outlook on life.
Well, dude,
and even help you come to terms with so much shit.
That's a huge part of the human experience, I feel, is like, so many people, that, you know, and I especially put this forward with, like, you know, and not to be reductive, but religious beliefs. It's like, oh, you know, I believe in this one foundation, and it's like that is all well and good at the end of the day, but it's also, it's just so reductive to limit yourself to this one notion or one idea.
Yeah.
Like multiple things can be true, multiple things can persist, and the beauty, and especially in something like philosophy, is it is fluid. You know, and it's not to say you can cherry pick stuff, but ultimately, if something means more to you and your philosophy, then hang on to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's one thing I love about philosophy in a whole, is it's almost like religion.
Sure.
In a sense that it's not necessarily this is this and this is the final. It's more of an argument of how to conduct yourself in life.
Sure.
Which, at the end of the day, you could argue is what most religions try to do.
Sure.
No matter what you follow, unless you follow atheism, and then it's just all kind of up to you, homie. And even that's something that's kind of changed with me through time is religion and it just as I've gone through time, I just don't care, to a certain point. I just don't give a shit, and so I said, "Fuck it." Odin is Thor throws thunderbolts from the sky. That's fact. Yep,
Yeah.
That's true. And you know what? You know what harm that's caused me? Fucking nothing.
Hell yeah.
We don't got ice giants because Odin killed them all. Praise the Allfather.
Yeah, do you see any ice giants? You're welcome.
Exactly. See? Looking over at you, Jesus. We still got plenty of sin here. I've seen enough Waluigi hentai that I think the human race is fucked.
I've seen enough Waluigi hentai. I'm sorry. That line just barely got through to me.
Oh.
It's not an invalid point, though.
It's so. If Jesus died for the sins of humanity, he got to be up there seeing this shit. Like, what the hell are y'all doing?
Well, and that not to play devil's advocate for Christianity or Catholicism in general, but like that. What I keep getting told is that he accepted all of humanity's sins, right? A part of the huge sacrifice and whatnot. That means he looked forward and saw the Waluigi hentai and was like, yeah, it's good. Ship it.
And not to mention our previous two favorite internet celebrities,
Indeed.
Onion Boy and Chris Chan.
Well,
He saw that.
This comes... Yes, you're right. But that comes with one of my own personal philosophies.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a more bona fide name for it. I know I'm far from the original person to come up with this notion. But it's what I refer to as the bad coffee clause.
Okay.
And effectively, what it is I'll go to, Denny's sometimes, because it's 3 in the fucking morning and I've lost all control of my life.
That was a fucking mood, and I've been there.
But that being said, lobsters, thank you, Jared. But that being said, even when I get bad coffee, and I've been served some truly horrendous coffee.
Same.
It gets bad sometimes. But ultimately, what I choose to take away from that and what has sort of led to this philosophy is recognizing that I get to choose how I react to that. And for me, I find much more value in taking in that bad coffee and going, you know what? This is a lens. This will allow me to look either back or forward to see other cups of coffee I've had. And to go, those, by comparison to this dog shit that I'm drinking right now, are amazing. And any coffee I have from now on has the opportunity to be better than what this was. And even if it's worse, that just means I have a new benchmark for how much more amazing coffee can be.
Fair enough. Ugh. And I mean, you can make the same argument for pretty much anything, really.
Totally.
Whether it be beer, water, soda, you name it.
That's the beauty of it, is for the people at home listening, probably figured out real quick that I wasn't talking about coffee.
Shut the fuck up.
But
we haven't used coffee as a slang for that since San Andreas was in the news. All right,
dude, I'm being hyperbolic. It can apply to anything. You are right.
Yeah.
You're right. We haven't used that as a term for that since 1902.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, I can't wait to put that video together. I'm excited.
I'm pretty excited for the next Metal Gear Solid stream, even though it'll be a minute before that happens.
And that's
due to
fine. Speaking of Sunday,
circumstances, but
yes, I don't know whether or not you're, or rather, what time you're busy, what time you were planning on coming over. But basically, I figure we can get the speed run started pretty much as early as you feel like getting here.
A couple things. There's a couple things that kind of lean into that schedule. I had the time 3:30 set for a reason, just because that's usually around the time I'm free.
Figured.
They're kind of a couple dice up in the air. So we'll say I want to be generous in case anything happens. So we'll say 3:30 at the earliest, 4:30 at the latest. How's that sound?
Sure.
So I'm gonna be generous. Hopefully 3:30, but expect 4:30 at the worst.
Totally. And I will do that.
Unless something fucking atrocious happens, like, car dying, like last time.
It happens, man.
It's sad we didn't get to talk about that on stream because I guess it just didn't come to mind.
Oh yeah.
But that just made me laugh.
Do you want to talk about that now, or?
Yeah, why not? So last Sunday when we did the Metal Gear Solid 4 stream, Isla had just gotten off work. She was hungry, so it was like, all right, let's go eat. My car battery had been going out for a while, but everything was still running. We were under the impression that the battery would be around $300 after taxes and all that fun stuff. So it was like, well, don't have $300 readily available unless we decide to jack up one of our credit cards. So let's wait a minute till we have the appropriate money and resources to throw that way.
Yeah, save up for it.
Yeah, try to be responsible about it. So we kind of pushed the car to its limit a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll get a next paycheck. Oh, maybe next paycheck. Maybe next paycheck. It's still running fine. We'll be fine, because at every time we would have had the opportunity to do it, we could have technically done it, but it would have crippled us financially, sure. Really, in the end. And we just so happened to get lucky, but we kept pushing it off. It had been acting kind of funny lately, but we figured, all right, we need to take this seriously. Next time we get the chance to, we're going to get this battery replaced. So we were going to wait till payday. So Sunday rolls around. Isla gets off work. She's hungry. So we're like, all right, let's go eat. I figured, it's like 2 o'clock. Got plenty of time to run to a restaurant, eat, and make it back in time for the stream. Well, for some reason, on a Sunday afternoon, Black Bear Diner was fucking booked like a motherfucker. So we had to wait about half an hour to get seated, plus the time it took to get there. And then after we got seated, we ate. About the time we're done eating, I get a text from Kodiak Dave saying, hey man, I'm almost there. And I'm like, shit, we need to go. So I was like, all right, well, we'll run home. It's like, oh, well, since we're on the way home and the store's on the way home, let's just stop at the store to grab me some hair dye product. Because I was going to re-dye my hair black because it's starting to fade. I'm pretty sure as you've noticed, starting to fade. So it's like, this will take like 5 seconds. It's no big deal. At that point, I'd already let you know, like, hey, I'm going to be late.
Yeah.
Bite yourself in, make yourself at home, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, 5 extra seconds won't hurt. Not that big of a deal. I can run and do this, get this out of the way. Yeah, because I've been meaning to do it for a while. Quick pit stop. So we pull in to the Sally's, grab the stuff, and we leave. The car will not start, which is laughably hilarious at this point. Because then my options were, I got jumper cables. Who do we get to come rescue us? And I'm like, well, how about the person waiting at our house? So I messaged Dave all sheepishly like, hey, buddy, can I ask a favor? And you're like, yeah, sure, anything, man. And I'm like, could you come give my car a jump? I'm stuck at Sally's. I just figured, either way, he's gonna end up waiting for me one way or the other. So,
Man,
but yeah.
Yeah, and I was happy to come jump you and help you out. I just feel bad because this car is, pardon me, new enough that I haven't had the opportunity to purchase a rescue kit for it.
Yeah.
And due to the fucking unfortunate invasion I had of the fucking carpet beetles, I had to rip the old carpet out, and I've had to I can't keep an emergency blanket or anything like that in there.
Yeah.
So, but
I hear you.
Outside of that, I was more than happy to help.
But yeah, no, it was just kind of funny that I had you come down for streaming, and then we had to put it off. I think it was by at least an hour or so, because I wasn't that far out. I think it was only maybe 10 or 20 minutes after 3:30 when I had texted you.
Yeah.
Quote me if I'm wrong. My memory's garbage.
No, you're good. It really wasn't that long.
And then we ended with the time it took for you to come and jump me for us to get back, and the fact that immediately after you jumped me, my gaslight's you're not gonna make it home, buddy, and I'm fucking. Having to pump gas while not shutting off your car is pretty fucking interesting.
I can imagine.
But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Listen, man,
so
those kids gotta get to school somehow.
You say that, but all that comes into mind is the actual fight I had to do to get certain things to happen.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I heard whispers of that, and I envy you.
Oh, did I not give you the full story?
No.
So, okay. Generally, preschool should start when the child is about 3, right?
Give or take.
Give or take. He started preschool when he was 4, about to turn 5. So the following year he was gonna be in elementary. So this kid, and that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have pushed for it. But it was he needs to be in something.
Yeah.
So that was a fun fight. Literally.
It sounded. From what I heard, it sounded like there was a lot of arm twisting that needed to happen, and I know
arm twisting and court
fun.
threats.
Oof. Yeah, I know how not fun that can be.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it can really all be summed up to the same pattern of, hey, has this been done yet? No. Okay, do it. Next week. Hey, is this done or do I need to do it? No, I'll do it, I promise. Okay. 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, 2 days before the year is about to start. It's done, right? He's going to XYZ school? No. And I'm well, do it or I'm taking you to court. In a very abridged version, of hey, I don't want to do this, but you're going to force my hand. I'm going to take you to court and you will lose custody because you refuse to take him to school.
No, this... eventually it extends outside of the realm of laziness and just becomes negligence, and that ultimately, and never to name individuals, but that ultimately was what led me to write both of them off, was just the continued negligence, not just on themselves, but on the people and the world around.
Oh, yeah, no, the other one, I straight up told him, as soon as I found out they were together, I straight up told him, I'm I have no problems with what choices you make in life.
Sure.
Whoever you date is whoever you date.
Yeah.
You're and then I told him, you're now including me. You do anything to that child, and you are fish food for all I fucking care. I will come for your goddamn throat.
I know you. That's not a threat to be taken lightly, and I hope you know me, and that you have all of the backup in the world when it comes to, I haven't forgotten that he's my godson.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah.
That is the end of this bowl. There are 222 parts left. And I think with vague, unnamed threats is an excellent place to call the stream.
Something I was laughing about with Isla the other day is I always thought it was funny how our streams will kind of bounce between us dicking around making jokes for half of it, and the other half is like deep, serious topics talking about either personal shit or just whatever comes to the mind at that time.
Totally.
And at a certain, like, I appreciate it, and I think it kind of like really kind of builds on the intrigue of the streams. But it also kind of makes me laugh that we always like touch on those subjects every stream. It just kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like wholesome in a way.
But yeah, thank you as always for tuning in. Also, I can't remember if you looked through. I haven't come up with any like thanks for joining streams. I've just got the we'll be right backs and the stream starting stuff.
Yeah.
But hop on real quick and let me know what you think of this one, because it's awfully prudent to the project I was working on.
Oh my god, I love it.
I had a lot of fun putting that together.
I love the fact that the bear is ejected out of the cockpit.
I've never had like an easier time putting motion blur on a single object, but hell yeah, I had a lot of fun. And tonight I had a lot of fun. Thank you again, and
I'm glad to jump in.
to anyone and everyone out there, thank you. Enjoy your night and stay safe.